it's a pleasure to be here again today to discuss about the climate impact and what we can do to act upon it. So I'm glad to be on stage with Dan and Eddie. Maybe you could present briefly yourself and why you're here and how you came to the climate finance environment.
It seems to be a simple question, but I'm afraid 20 minutes won't be enough to do this. Anyway, I'll try. So I'm the vice president of Therme Group, which is one of it's the biggest well-being company in the world. We are not just operating, but also inside the group we have 54 companies, technological companies. We provide the whole technology for sustainability and for providing well-being. So you can't talk about well-being if in the same time you hurt the environment. The main issue we faced with was how to offset the carbon footprint. And after analyzing the voluntary carbon market, after analyzing what the carbon footprint calculators could provide as an info for us, we were not satisfied. We started to design our own mechanism, how to offset the carbon footprint, and we failed. We failed because at the end, we realized that the mechanism has to be applied for the whole visitor economy, for the whole tourism industry. So, because at some point we believe we are crazy, and if no way to find a solution going through tokenomics, we contact the top universities in the world. So we started with the University of Surrey, because the Faculty of Tourism and Management, it's #1 in UK, #1 in Europe, and #2 in the world regarding tourism research. We contact the Academy for Blockchain and Metaverse Application from UK. We contact the Institute for Sustainability in UK. And we try to push our ideas in a way to become the subject of several researches. The answer was not just positive, but everybody was amazed. We ran all the 3 researches. We finalized all of them. One is already published. And one of the main problems we faced was we didn't find a blockchain able to support the mechanism. And this is the moment when, after weeks and weeks of research, somebody from my team come with the idea, Radix. And I met them. And it looks in that point, and this was happening 8-9 months ago, that Radix is on the straight way to reach the necessary capabilities to become the platform for us. But I want to let Dan to provide more info about this.
So maybe, yeah, Dan, if you could explain why Radix is the technology that was the best and that was selected by Eddie, and why it was answering their needs.
Sure. So my name's Dan Hughes. I'm the founder of Radix, which is a scalable layer 1 protocol. I've been in crypto essentially since the beginning of time. I started with Bitcoin. I did a lot of research into the Bitcoin protocol because I was very interested in who had solved this age-old consensus problem and how had they done it, and became very interested in the kind of economic impact as well that Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that came later. But there was some kind of, being an engineer, there was some concerns I had around scalability and decentralization and security over the long term. So after spending a bit of time trying to figure out solutions to bolt into Bitcoin, it just became obvious that this is probably going to be better to approach from a clean slate. And so after a decade of research, we went very slow with our research. We wanted to make sure that it was robust, that we could find solutions to the scalability problems, decentralization, security, but also the developer experience and the user experience over time. So we have a full stack solution for those problems, and our network has been rolling out in stages over the past few years.
And we were speaking about hospitality and aviation and the offset, and I guess there are a lot of transactions at the same time. So is it something that was one of the criteria when you chose Radix? Is Radix able to answer these needs for a huge number of transactions at the same time?
In fact, when blockchain technology entered to the market and entered to our lives, it was created mainly for crypto exchange. Of course, the crypto market has a very nice evolution since that moment, but it's still far, far away from the moment when the economics model could be deployed on blockchains. The main issue for me was the TPS, transactions per second. And when we are talking about visitor economy, tourism industry, we are talking about tens of millions of people traveling per day, cruising, flying, accommodation, food and beverage. So it was very difficult to calculate how many transactions per second I need inside the blockchain to deploy my mechanism. But I compare the number of transactions of Visa or MasterCard in Black Friday to see how many transactions per second they have. And I realized that I need at least 120, 150 TPS. And my first question to Dan when we met, it was, Dan, are you sure you are able to provide these figures? And Dan was absolutely. It's not just absolutely, but Dan, please, can you tell me yesterday how many TPS you reach and could be seen live on your blockchain?
Yeah, so if you come to our booth over in the arena, to the Radix booth, we have a screen in the booth with a live test network, which is globally distributed, hundreds of validators processing. Yesterday, we were sustained 1.4 million transactions a second all day.
So that's impressive. But I think we've been diving directly in the research, in the tech side. I think a lot of people would actually like to understand what you're trying to solve and what is your solution bringing and how is it active in the climate space?
Well, nobody, and when I'm saying nobody, it means nobody. Nobody wants to pay even €1 more for a plane ticket, for accommodation in a specific hotel. Everybody is looking for the cheapest price. And if you are talking about offsetting, people don't understand the concept. Even companies, for them, it's very difficult. So the main challenge for me, for my team, was how to find a mechanism, how to find a solution to incentivize people to pay that fee without considering that it's a carbon tax. They don't want another tax. So our solution, and it's not just a solution developed in a laboratory. It's not just something which academia come with. No, it's something which could be delivered very, very fast. And I had this presentation. I'm in contact with the COP presidency, with the, I don't know, biggest tourist fair in the world, ITB Berlin. I delivered my presentation, and everybody was shocked how easy it is to reach that point. So when somebody is traveling from point A to point B and is going to pay a fee to offset the carbon footprint, that fee will never be considered as a tax. That fee will be invested in a green project. And the person who paid the fee will be able to see on the blockchain lives each phase of the investment. And at the end of the investment, the carbon credits with a lot of other information regarding the project, regarding the money he paid, and so on, will become an NFT, and he will receive back this NFT. And if he's going to burn the NFT on the blockchain and offset the carbon footprint, he will receive the second token, the investment token, which will allow him to have access to the profit from the company where the money, his money were invested. So in this way, we developed a new concept, a 3-tier token, and a new consensus mechanism, which the research regarding these two aspects are going to be published in an international research magazine till the end of this year.
And I guess to offset the carbon emission, you need to have a good set of data. So I'm wondering how you ensure that the data that you're using for your solution is exact, is correct, and it's the most accurate one. Is there a specific mechanism in place? Is there a database that you're using? Is it your own information?
We have several discussions, me and Dan, regarding data security. Radix blockchain offers several solutions regarding this. But in the same time, we came with the plug-in solution. We have a company in the United States, and the owner of the company, the CEO, is part of my research team. And we'll be able to provide data security for data in transit and data at rest inside the blockchain with post-quantum resilience. So even all the information, all the data we will collect and we will display on the blockchain, all the connections between your phones and your laptops with the blockchain will have post-quantum encryption.
And what about the accuracy of the data? So are we sure that it's the correct calculation of emissions, so we're not paying too much or too low?
Well, in order to this aspect is also extremely important. In order to have an accurate image regarding the carbon footprint, we developed another project in parallel with carbon tokenomics model, and the UK government invested 50% of the money come from UK government, the other 50% come from Therme group, my group. And we developed through a KTP project, Knowledge Transfer Partnership, a 3-year program when through University of Surrey, top researchers in carbon life cycle, we will deploy several carbon footprint calculators able to calculate the footprint in tourism industry for different services. It's not normal to have the same carbon footprint calculator able to calculate for flying, for cruising, for accommodation. You have different data. So we already finalized the first one, the carbon footprint calculator linked with the aviation, and it's considered by experts, by specialists, a new generation of carbon footprint calculators. The first carbon footprint calculator in the world linked with the blockchain. The data we collect from airline companies are deployed on the blockchain, and we have some historical factors which are going back to the carbon footprint calculator and make it smarter and accurate every second.
And then, do you have requests from other solutions similar to Therme Group to develop such solutions in the climate space?
I'm kind of working explicitly with Therme Group at the moment because it aligns with a lot of my own kind of like personal feelings around the environment and stuff. But I just wanted to make a point that part of the reason why Therme Group we're looking for such a scalable blockchain is because you don't just have the user interactions of buying the tokens and the investments and all that information around the use, flights, cars, accommodation. The information that the carbon calculator also needs to be ingested on Ledger, right? So that it's all available, transparent. So when you think about the users and their interactions, plus all of the data from the sensors in the aircraft and the information that the hotel chains are providing for this carbon calculator, you suddenly start to get, okay, yes, we really do need 100,000 or 200,000 if this was to grow to a global scale, right?
And you're mentioning the carbon calculator. Are you also thinking about decarbonation tools such as the University of Luxembourg, or are you also considering the emission tool from the Cambridge University? Are you open to innovation from outside Surrey University, or is it like you're right now in the research phase?
Well, when we started this, we started with the University of Surrey because, as I mentioned, the School of Hospitality is #1 in UK and #1 in Europe regarding the tourism industry. But the University of Surrey is just the vehicle. In my team, we have researchers from China, from Taiwan, from Australia, from United States, from Spain, from Italy, from Austria, from Canada. So we try to bring in our research team the top minds and the top researchers in the world able to provide something which is not utopic, something which is directly linked with the request and with the necessity from the private sector. And yes, we are opening to any collaboration with any university, with any NGOs, with any company. In fact, on then private blockchain, because the mechanism will be on a private blockchain, we will have several artificial intelligence, and in this field we work with Oxvalue AI, the spin-out company specialized in artificial intelligence from Oxford University.
And do you use, for example, we use DLT to ensure transparency, traceability. Are you using AI as well to treat the data? So you ensure that, for example, only part of the data that is useful to correctly calculate the information, the cost is used, or do you only use DLT for that?
For me or for them?
I think you know. So.
Yeah, so the data, we are talking about different AI. And I know this is a very, very hot topic, but from my perspective, everything is important. It doesn't matter we are talking about blockchain or about digital asset. It doesn't matter we are talking about AI or climate changing. Everything is important. Regarding the AI and the data we are going to collect it, we discuss with the experts from Oxford University, and we, in this moment, trying to establish several partnerships. Because, give an example, one of the AI will be about how to select a green project, where the money are going to be invested, how to be sure, 100% sure, that the profit will be generated and will be tokenized into the second token. And of course, nobody can be sure, 100% sure about the profitability of the company. But at least to use as many info as possible using an AI to take this decision. So we will have access even to data provided by the meteo satellites to make the predictability regarding how powerful, how profitable will be a solar power plant or a wind power plant in a specific place in 10 years or in 20 years, if the weather is going to change. So yes, we try to train the AI and to provide as many data as possible in order to support the decision maker. And the decision maker always will be a person. The AI will come with the info, will make the analysis, but the decision will be taken by people.
I guess there is much more to say, but what would be your last word, Dan? And what would you wish for the audience to do, whether it's to test your solution, to come? What is your wish for the climate finance solutions?
Yeah, I think this is one of those kind of projects and initiatives that has a broad vision, and it really requires collaboration because there's so many entities involved for this to be successful. But also you guys in the audience, get passionate about this, investigate the work that is being done. And we do also have a little demo that we can show people of like the token flow and stuff over at our booth as well. So if you'd like a little walkthrough of a prototype that describes what the tokens are, how you use them, then feel free to come by.
Thank you very much. It was a really insightful discussion.
I want to say one more thing about Radix. Just one thing.
We're running out of time.
Yesterday, another speaker said about Radix that in 10 years, Radix will become what Morgan Stanley is today for the financial sector. I want to disagree then. I'm sorry. It won't happen in 10 years. It will happen in maximum 5.
Well, thank you very much. A big round of applause for my speakers, and I wish you a nice day. Bye. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Emilie, Daniel, and Eduard, absolutely brilliant.